Hello all, welcome to session 44 of CSharp.net training series. In this session, I am going to explain and practically demonstrate about objects, classes, constructors, this keyword and static in C Sharp. So let's get started. First of all, I'll start with objects. What are objects? Objects in C Sharp are the representation of real world entities in programming. Okay. In programming languages, in programming, if you want to represent real world entities, okay, then in C Sharp, we have to create objects. We have to create objects. In order to represent the real world entities in programming, we have to create objects. What are these real world entities then? Okay. And so these real world entities, if you want to represent in C# programming, we have to create objects. But what exactly are these real world entities? Real world entities are anything that you see in this real world. Okay. So it can be as simple as a water bottle. Okay. Water bottle. It can be a chair. Anything that you can see, touch, feel, right? Chair, table. It can be my mouse, whatever I am seeing on my screen, that my laptop. Okay. It can be a mobile phone. It can be a pen, it can be a book, it can be a pen. These are all examples. Okay, it can be a book, it can be a car on the road. Okay, it can be a building. All these are real world entities. Such kind of real world entities, if you want to represent in programming, then what we have to do? We have to create objects in C Sharp. In order to represent these real world entities in programming, we have to create objects. But how to create objects? In order to create objects, we need to create class first. Okay. So next thing is class. What are classes? Here, as part of this topic, I'm going to explain about objects. Objects are nothing but the representation of real world entities in programming. But to create objects, we need classes. What exactly are these classes? Classes are templates or factory for creating objects. Okay. For creating objects, we have to create class using which we can create objects. Okay. First, we have to create classes. By using classes as templates or factory, we can create objects. So how to create such kind of classes using which we can create objects? Let me show you practically. So let's say guys, this is a file demo.cs file, and here we have a namespace. Inside this, I'll create one of the class. So I'll say public class. I'll name this class as car class. Okay, some sample name I'm giving as car class. Okay, the name of the class is car class. And this class I want to create as a template. Okay, I want to prepare a template using this class, and this particular class. Okay, using this class, I'm going to create objects. Okay, I'm going to use this class as a factory for creating objects. Fine. So here, if you talk about car, guys, what are the different things the car will have? So car will have color. Car will have some model. Okay, car will have some brand. Let's say I'll put the brand first. Okay, brand. Sorry, I'll put the brand first. Brand. Then model of the car. Then color of the car. What else the car will have? Car will have mileage, right? Double mileage, I'll say. Car will have some cost. That is price or cost, whatever you say. Okay, price. What else the car will have? Brand, model, color, mileage, price. Anything else? There is something like wheels, right? Number of wheels. Int wheels. Okay, number of wheels of the car. And cost is there, price is there, mileage is there, wheels is there. This much is enough for now. Okay, this many properties are enough. Okay, this many variables I created for creating the car class template. And on the top of that, some methods also the car class template will have. Public void, I'll say start car. So here I'll say which car started. The car having a particular brand and model has started. Car having brand plus this brand. Okay, this particular brand. And model, which model? This model has started. Like this, I'll write a print, the console.writeLine print statement. Okay. Then I'll say public void dummy statements. I'm writing simple words. Stop car. Okay. Stop car. Public void stop car. So here I'll say console.writeLine car having brand. Which brand? This brand of the car, and model. Which model? I'll say plus model has stopped. Like this, some two sample methods I created along with these variables. I created two sample methods. Now I'll create. Another variable, another method. So public void display car details. Okay. When I call this method, it should display all the methods of the all the properties of the car class. Okay. Okay. Let me write like this. So console.writeLine. I'll say brand of the car is plus brand. Okay, this brand. Then I'll say console.writeLine model of the car is plus model. Then what else is there? Color. Okay. Color of the car is which color? This color. I'll say plus color. Then mileage. Console.writeLine mileage of the car is plus mileage. Then we have price and wheels. Okay. Console.writeLine price of the car is plus price. Mileage plus price. And finally, number of wheels of the car is number of wheels of the car is plus wheels. Like this, I will print out all the details if this particular method is called. Okay, like this, some variables and some methods I created inside this car class. Now car class has become a template. Okay, by creating these variables and methods related to the car class has now become a template. Using this template, we can create objects. Okay, as you can see here, objects are the representation of the real world entities in programming. Different examples of the real world entities are car, book, pen, calendar, bottle, table, chair, and many other things that you can really see, feel, and touch. Okay, all these are the real world entities. Such kind of real world entities, if you want to present in programming, then we have to create or use objects in programming. Okay, objects will represent the real world entities in programming, but objects need to be created with the help of the classes. Objects are the implementation of the classes. So without creating a class like this, without creating a class like this or class template like this, we cannot create objects. First we have to create that class template. But how to create objects? Okay, so we just created a template or a factory for creating objects. Just now we created a template or factory for creating objects, but objects are not yet created it. Okay, so class enclose variables and methods we already know. And how to create a class? Generally, how to create a class, guys? With the help of the class keyword, public class class name. Okay, public class name. With the help of the class keyword, we have to create the class. Fine. The class keyword is used for creating the class here. So public, then class, name of the class. This is a class. Inside this class is enclosing the variables and methods, and this particular class is acting like a template or factory for creating objects in the next steps. Okay. Okay. What is the naming convention of the class here? The naming convention of the class is upper camel case. Okay. So this is what is upper camel case. Like if you have multiple words here class is only having one word, but the first letter is in capital letter. If this particular class has multiple words, each and every word's first letter should be in capital. That is upper camel case. Okay. Naming convention of the class is upper camel case. Now let's create the objects, guys. Okay. Using this class template, let's create an object. For that, I'll create one more class. How to create a class? How to create a class? Public. Which keyword I have to use for creating the class? Class keyword. Okay. Class name of the class, say demo class. Inside this demo class, I'll create a method, guys. That is main method I'll create. I'll say public svm, I'll type and tap. Okay. It will create the main method. So inside here you see under this namespace, there are two classes, car class and demo class are there. Car class I am creating as a template. Okay. This car class I created as a template, and we have another class that is demo class where I created the main method. The purpose I created the main method is inside the main method I want to create objects. Create objects here. Okay. Using this car class template, I want to create objects. How to create objects then? To create objects, what is the format? There is a keyword in CSharp for creating the object. The keyword is known as new keyword. Okay. In order to create objects, we have to use a keyword known as new keyword, guys. So like this. Okay. New keyword. I'll show you what is the new keyword and all. Here I have to simply say new. New is a keyword which can be used for creating the objects. Okay. So for which class I have to create the object? For the car class, right? Here we have the car class template. So for the car class, I want to create object. So I'll simply say car here, and followed by circular brackets and semicolon you put. Okay. New car. Object is being created for which class? Car class. Okay. Like this is the format, guys. This is the format we have to follow for creating the objects. The moment I say new car here, in the computer memory, let me go back here. In the computer memory, let's say this is a computer memory. The moment I say new car here, in this computer memory, some memory will be allocated to an object. Okay. In this computer memory, a memory will be allocated to some memory will be allocated to the object. This memory got allocated to the object the moment I say new car. Okay. The moment I say new car, let's say this is object one. For this, some memory got allocated. Okay. Now, who need to refer to this object memory? Someone has to refer to this object memory, right? How to refer to this object memory? Someone has to refer to this object memory in the computer memory. To do that, guys, we'll assign this object to a object reference. Okay. I'll just name the object reference with the real world car names. Let's say Swift VDI. Okay. SVDI, I'll say. Swift VDI is a car. So I'll say SVDI. And here I need to declare this object reference also with a class name, that is car. Okay. Car Swift VDI is equal to new car. Like this, I need to declare. Fine. Next. So the moment I say car SVDI is equal to new car, the object that got created here got assigned to the object reference. Okay. This object is referred to the memory of this particular created object is referred to using the SVDI. That means here we have SVDI. Using the object reference SVDI, we are referring to this object memory. Now, guys, that's fine. We created the object for this car class. For the car class, we created the object, but all these values are not initialized yet. Brand, model, color, mileage, price, wheels. None of these properties got initialized. How to initialize? In order to initialize all these properties, we have to use the object reference. Okay, SVDI is the object reference here. Simply, you have to say SVDI dot Okay. So what the problem here is all these variables we have to put public here. Okay. Just add public here, then it will be okay. Public. Just add public here. Okay. Before all methods public is already there, but before variables public is not there. Just put public here. I'll explain more about public later. But for now, just follow this process. Okay. Public. Put public before this. So when you are creating the car class template, class is public and also the variables are public and methods are also public. Okay, that's you have to make sure for a while. Okay, until I explain about public, just blindly do this. SVDI dot. Now you see all these properties are coming. Let's say brand. What is a brand? Okay, brand is Maruti. Maruti is the brand. Okay. SVDI dot brand. The car company is Maruti. SVDI dot model. What is the model of the car? Model is VDI. Okay, VDI model. So fine. Model is Swift VDI, you can say. Swift VDI. Okay, model is Swift VDI. Then SVDI dot. What else is there? Brand is over. Model is over. Then color. Color of the car. Let's say color of the car is red color. Then what else we have? Color, mileage, price, wheels. Okay. SVDI dot. I'm initializing all these variables, okay, of the car template for this particular object. SVDI dot mileage is equal to 24.12. SVDI dot price is equal to let's say 8 lakhs in Indian rupees. SVDI dot wheels is equal to number of wheels this particular car will have is 4 wheels. Okay, you see, brand, model, color, mileage, price, wheels, all these variables we have initialized for this particular object. So the moment I do all this stuff, what will happen is in the computer memory here, all these details will be added in this computer memory. That is brand is equal to Swift, Maruti. Brand is equal to Maruti. Model is equal to Swift VDI. Then color is equal to red color. Then mileage is equal to 24.12. Okay. Then price is equal to 8 lakhs. Then wheels is equal to 4. Okay. Fine. Now I want to create one more object. Can I create multiple objects? Here only one object I represented, one real world entity, that is Swift VDI car I represented here, right? But I want to represent more cars. So how to represent more cars? To represent the real world entities, we have to create objects. Objects can be created with the help of the classes only. So again, I need to create an object for the car class again. How? Using which keyword? New keyword. New car I have to say again. When I say, the moment I say new car, in the computer memory, another object will be created. For that object, the memory will be allocated like this. Object 2 will be created. For the object 2, some memory got allocated. So someone has to refer to this object. We need an object reference, like SVDI is an object reference for this particular first object. Similarly, for the second object also we need some object reference. Let's say HAMZ. Okay, Honda Amaze. I want to represent the Honda Amaze real world entity in this programming. So I'm just creating this object reference, and I have to declare that using the same class type, that is car. Now, all these variables of this car class, I want to initialize for this particular object reference. Okay. So I have to say Honda Amaze dot brand. Brand is equal to Honda. HAMZ dot model. Okay. What is the model? Honda Amaze is a model. HAMZ dot color. Let's say gray color. HAMZ dot mileage. Let's say 14 kilometers per liter. HAMZ dot price. Let's say 9 lakhs in Indian rupees. HAMZ dot wheels. Number of wheels this particular car will have is 4 only. 4, done. Now I want to create one more object. New, again car. The moment I say new car here, before I create this object, guys, let me store all these values in that memory. So who is the object reference of this second object? We are referring to this with the help of another object reference, that is HAMZ, right? HAMZ is object reference for referring to this memory of this second object. And here brand is equal to Honda, model is equal to Amaze, color is equal to gray, mileage is equal to 14, price is equal to 9 lakhs, wheels is equal to 4, done. Okay, that is also done. Now I want to create one more object. For that, again new keyword I will use, new car. This will create another object. And this object I will again in the computer memory, object 3 will be created. For that, some memory will be allocated. This is object 3. Okay, I want to assign this object to an object reference, that is I20, I will say. Okay, HI20, Hyundai i20. So here again car, and using this object reference, I'll initialize the values for the particular class. Okay, HI20 dot brand is equal to Hyundai, HYUNDI, Hyundai, HI20 dot model, I20 is the model, HI20 dot color, white color, HI20 dot mileage. Mileage is let's give some mileage. Let's say 12 kilometers per liter. Then HI20 dot price. Price is let's say 12 lakhs. Then that is in Indian rupees. HI20 dot wheels is equal to 4. Done. Okay. So I initialize all the variables for this particular third object also. So that means in here, what is object reference? Object reference is HI20 is object reference. HI20 is object reference, and what are the values that are stored here? Brand is equal to Hyundai, model is equal to I20, color is equal to white, mileage is equal to 12, price is equal to 12 lakhs in Indian rupees, wheels is equal to 4. That's it. Okay. You see the moment how many objects you create, that many, in that many you will initialize the variables. Okay. So this is a process. So for this is the process. So using class is a template or a factory for creating objects. Using this car class template or factory, we are creating objects here. How many objects we created? Object 1, object 2, object 3 objects we created, and for each and every object we initialize the variables. Right? In the computer memory, this is how it happened. Fine? Fine. Okay. So now you understood what are classes and what are objects, and how to create objects with the help of the classes. Classes, what classes are? Class is a template or factory for creating objects. Objects are the implementation of the classes. That is, using classes we will create the objects, and using new keyword we have to create the objects, right? And how to access the members of the class using object reference for initializing the variables, I just now told you, right? So we have accessed this brand, color, model, mileage, price, wheels of each and every, okay, for each and every object using this object reference, right? Assigning members of the class using object reference. Fine. We initialize all the variables of the class using the object reference. Fine. These what are the class and objects. Now guys, let's solve some problems. The problem here is, this is all good. This is all good, guys. This is all good. Now, now using this object reference, I want to call this method. I want to start the car, I want to stop the car, I want to display the car details. So what I will do here is, at the end, let's say, using the object reference. For example, if I want to start a Swift VDI car, what I have to do? SVDI dot, using the object reference, SVDI dot, which method I have to call? Start car. This is start car method I have to call. Okay. Using the object reference, by creating an object and by using the object reference, we can access the members of this class. Okay. All these members for initializing, and all these members, if I want to call, I can call these methods using the object reference. I cannot directly call them, guys. Okay. I cannot say start car here. I cannot call this method of this car class directly. Instead, I have to create an object. You see, this is a different class. The main method is there inside the different class. From a different class, from a different method, if I have to access these variables and methods of this class, first I have to create an object for this class, and using the object reference of the class, I need to access these variables and methods. Okay, that's what I am doing, right? In order to access the variables, you see brand, model, color, mileage, price, wheels of the car class, I have to first create an object reference. First create an object and assign that to the object reference. Using the object reference, I am accessing them, right? And assigning the values. Similarly, to call the methods also, I cannot directly call like this. Start car, this is not possible. You will get errors. In order to access these methods, which are there in the other class, right? Car class is another class and demo class is another class. From another class, if you want to access the methods, you want to call the methods of another class. First, for that particular class, you have to create an object. Already we created the object for that car and assigned to the SVDI. So using that object reference, SVDI dot You can say start car. Okay. Similarly, svdi dot, I can access another method also, that is stop car. And also I can say svdi dot car details, display car details. Okay. Three methods I am calling. Using the object reference only, I can access the members of the class. Okay. Members of the other class can only be accessed by using the object reference. Without that, we cannot access. Fine, guys. So just to make sure there is a segregation, I'll just add this line. You'll understand why I'm putting this line here, just for separation. Okay. Now, guys, I want to I want to start another car, stop another car, and display the car details of another car. This time I want to um start Honda Amaze, stop the Honda Amaze, and display the details of the car details of the Honda Amaze. Okay, let's see. HAMZ dot start car dot start car, HAMZ dot stop car, HAMZ dot display car details. Okay. Now similarly, I want to start, stop, and display the car details of I-20 car also. HI-20 is the object reference. HI-20 dot start car, HI-20 dot stop car, HI-20 dot display car details. Okay. So using the object reference of respective objects, we were accessing the variables and methods of the class. Okay. Methods of the other classes. Now run this code. You will see a proper output. Okay. The prompt, the command prompt is closing because at the end we have to add console dot read line, right? Otherwise it will not stop, it will not hold. Now run this code, you will see the output now. You see, car having the brand Maruti and model Swift VDA has started. Car having the brand Maruti and model Swift VDA has stopped. Brand of the car is Maruti. Car details. You see, third method. First method is printing this one. Second method is printing this one. That is a start car is printing the first line. Stop car is printing the second line. And car details is a third method. Display car details is printing all these lines. Brand of the car is Maruti. Model of the car is Swift VDA. Color of the car is red. Mileage of the car is 24.12. Price of the car is 8 lakhs. Number of the wheels of the car is 4. And you see separation line is also coming. This is the reason I provided separation line. Second, using the second object reference, when I called the start car, stop car, and the car, display car details, this is what happened. Car having the brand Honda and model Amaze has started. Car having the brand Honda and model Amaze has stopped. Brand of the car is Honda. Amaze Gray 14 9 lakhs 4. Okay. Car having the brand Hyundai and model I-20 has started. Car having the brand Hyundai and model I-20 has stopped. Hyundai I-20 white 12 lakhs 4. Okay. You see all the car details got printed. This is what we can do, guys. Okay. So first we have to create a car class template. Any template of the class that is class template we have to create. Using that class template, we have to create objects, and using the object reference of that particular objects, we can access the members of this class template. Okay. We can call this variables and initialize them. We can call this methods and execute them. Okay. So with the details with this initialized data only, these methods are being called, right? The methods which are being called are utilizing the initialized variables of that particular objects. Fine. So far so good. So this is one way, but I'm not satisfied, guys. Okay. I'm not satisfied with the way I'm initializing the values for this different objects. Okay. Here I'm initializing, guys. Here I'm initializing for each and every object. I'm initializing the variables of the class, but I'm not satisfied with the way I'm doing each and every variable. How many lines of code I have to write for each and every object? For every object, I have to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 lines I have to write. Here also again 6 lines. Here also again 6 lines. If I have 100 objects here, 600 lines I would write. But I am not satisfied with this. I want to simplify this process of initialization. So what I will do to simplify this is, here guys, in this particular car class template, I'll create a method. First I'll create a method, guys. Public void initialize variables. Okay, any method name you can give. I'm just giving initialize variables as a method name. Okay. And what variables I want to initialize? I want to initialize this brand, model, color, mileage, price, fields for each and every object I want to initialize. So what I will do is, instead of giving the exact name, I'll give string brand. Okay. String B, I will say. Then string M I'll say model, M for model, then string C for color, then string mi for mileage. Then so this is mileage is double, guys. Okay, string C double, yeah, double mileage, right? So I have to say double mi. Then int p per price. Then int w for wheels. Okay, like this I'll give some other short names. And how to initialize this? I'll say brand is equal to b. So these are the parameters, guys. These are the parameters of this method, and I'm assigning these parameters to the class variables like this. Okay, just to simplify the process of initializing, I have to do this. I have to create this method with this number of parameters and assign these parameters to the class variables so that the initialization will get simplified. Model is equal to m, color is equal to c, mileage is equal to m, then price is equal to p, then wheels is equal to w. Okay, wheels is equal to w. Here mileage is equal to mi, guys. Okay, mi, right? Mi. Now by creating this kind of method having this many these parameters and initialize that assigning that parameters to these class variables, how this will simplify the process of initialization. Here, guys, I no need to write all these lines anymore. Okay, so single line it will be done. Svdi dot, I have to call that initialize variables method, and I have to pass all the values. Arguments I need to pass to this method. When I'm calling this method, initialize variables method, I have to pass arguments to all these parameters. So what arguments I need to pass? The same data. Maruti I will pass here, comma. I'll pass fifth VDI, comma. I'll pass this red, comma. Fourth argument is this value. Fifth argument is price value, and sixth argument is number of wheels, that is 4. Okay, like this I'll pass. This many lines are not required. Simply call this method. This method, what will happen? Maruti will go and fall into this B. Maruti will go and fall into B. Next, what is next? Swift VDI will go and fall into. So Swift VDI will go and fall into this model, and color, that is red color. Here red color, whatever you are passing as an argument while calling this method, right? So this red color will go and fall into this C, and mileage, that is this 24.12 will go and fall into this mi, and 8 lakhs will go and fall into this p, and number 4 will go and fall into this w, and all this b, m, c, m, I, p, w are getting assigned to the class variables. This is how we are initializing. We are simplifying the process of initializing by creating a simple method which can intake these parameters. All the data that we have to initialize to these class variables are being taken as a parameters, and these parameters are getting assigned to the class variables. Okay, now next lines also, I don't have to write this many number of lines, right? Simple. Use the object reference of that particular object, AMZ dot initialize variables, and pass all the data. Okay, instead of initializing the data in 6 lines, I just need to simply pass this data as an arguments. Okay, it is so simplified like that, comma, amaze, then gray, then 14, then 9 lakhs, then 4. Remove these things. Okay, remove this stuff. The third one also the same thing. So let's write h I20 dot initialize variables, and let's pass all this data via the arguments to this method calling statement. So write from here. Third one, okay, done. So we simplified the process of initialization, right? Instead of writing 6 lines of code, for each and every object. Now we can write just one line where we just need to call the method and method will initialize all the variables for you, right? This is what, but still I am not satisfied. This will give you the result, guys. Okay, you'll get a proper result. You see, whatever the result you got earlier, the same result you will get now. You see the same result you got. Car having the brand Maruti, model Swift, VDI, Maruti Swift Red and all those stuff. Here Honda and Amaze, Honda Amaze Grey 14, right? Then Hyundai i20, Hyundai i20 Y12 and all those stuff. Okay, so there is no change in the output, but we were able to reduce the number of lines of code. Okay, by just calling this method and initializing the variables, we reduced like 5 lines of code for every object. 15 lines of code we have reduced, but still I am not satisfied. Okay, so is there any other way to even simplify the process of initializing the variables? Yes, there's another way where I don't even have to call this method, guys. Okay, I don't even have to call this method to initialize this variable with the different values of the objects. Okay, so without calling this method, how can the variables of the class can be initialized with the values? You see, when you're creating the object itself, you're calling a constructor here, right? So when you're creating an object, new car, when you say an object is created in the computer memory like that, but here there are circular brackets. What is the meaning of circular brackets beside the class name here? Here, this is what is a constructor. You are calling a constructor with this. So what is a constructor actually? So now you need to understand what is a constructor, and in place of this method, we are going to create a constructor. So what is the difference between constructor and method? Both are same, guys. Okay, constructor and method look similar, but small differences are there. What are the differences? I'll tell you. First, public you have to write, and name of the constructor should be same as the name of the class. Here name of the method is different from name of the class, but name of the constructor should be same as the name of the class. That is public car I have to say, and provide the circular brackets and start. That's it. This is how a constructor will look like. It doesn't have any return type. You see here method has a return type void, but here return type won't be there for the constructors. Okay, and also the name of the constructor should match with the name of the class, then only it can be called as a constructor. But name of the method will be different from name of the name of the class. And also methods have return type where constructor doesn't have return type. Okay, this is what is a small difference between the constructors and methods. Okay, the small difference between constructors and methods, even though the constructors look similar to the methods, but the difference is here no return type. In case of constructor there is no return type, in case of method there is a return type. And in case of the constructor, the name of the constructor should match with the name of the class, whereas in case of methods, name can be anything for the methods, which can be different from the class name. Now all these things I'll move here. I'll cut it from here and paste it here, and I'll cut it from here and paste it here. That's it. Okay, that's it, guys. So I just migrated from a method to a constructor. So what will happen if I migrate from a method to a constructor? What is the advantage? Advantage is here the initialization process will be even simplified because I don't even have to call a method to initialize these variables for that particular class and all. Okay, all these things I'll pass while creating the object itself here. That's it. You don't have to explicitly call a method to initialize the class variables. Okay, here instead of passing these arguments via method calling statement, you will pass it while using the constructor calling statement. This is constructor calling statement, guys. You are calling a constructor here. Okay, automatically when you create an object, you are calling a constructor. So via that constructor, you are initializing the values. Okay, you see even more simplified, right? Here instead of passing all these values via method calling statement, I'm passing the arguments from the constructor calling statement, which is part of the object creation statement. When you are creating the objects only, you are initializing the data. So simplified it is to initialize the data, right? For the each and every object, if you want to initialize the class variables, then you don't have to use object reference and call the explicit method for initializing. Rather, when you create the object itself, during the object creation statement itself, you can pass the arguments and constructor will be called. So simple it is to initialize the data. That's what is the main purpose of constructors. So what is the main purpose of the constructors? Why constructors actually? Constructors simplify the process of initialization of the data. Okay, constructors simplify the process of initialization of the data. So this is being done automatically now. Okay, just create a object creation statement, and constructor will take care of initializing the data. That's how simple it is. I don't even have to write that extra one line. Okay. Now run this code, you'll get the same output. You got the same output still, right? So here, this object creation statement, in object creation statement, this particular thing is calling the constructor, and these arguments are being passed to this constructor, which doesn't have a return type, and name of the constructor is same as the name of the class. So all these parameters are getting assigned to the class variables. Done. Okay. These what are the constructors, guys. Fine. So what will happen? For example, guys, if I create a something like this, car C1 is equal to new car. So this time you will get error because parameters are required, but let's assume that this constructor is not there. Okay, let me remove this constructor for a while. Let me comment this out. Let me comment this constructor for a while. Okay, and also let me comment this constructor calling statements for a while. Done. So when I create a, when there is no constructor here in this car class, when there is no constructor here, and when you still create an object like this, car C1 is called new car, here constructor is being called, but here do we have a constructor? No, no, right? But how, why error is not coming? I'm creating an object. As part of creating an object, I'm calling the constructor. When this constructor is being called, but here there is no constructor which is explicitly stated. So why we are not getting error? Because a hidden constructor is being maintained by this class. Not only this class, any class in C# maintains a hidden constructor like this. Internally, there will be a constructor like this. Hidden constructor, hidden empty constructor, which is hidden, guys. Okay, it's not visible. So I just wrote here just so that you can visualize, but this will be there internally. Okay, if you don't explicitly create any constructor like this, internally there will be a constructor inside the class without any arguments, and it's going to be without any statements and all. It's an empty constructor will be there, which will be in hidden state. That's the reason when you create an object, that hidden empty constructor will be called, guys. But when you create an explicit constructor like this and with parameters and all, then it is mandatory for you to pass the arguments. Okay, then otherwise you'll get errors like this. You have to pass. Okay, from then onwards. This is what is all about the constructors, guys. Okay, this is all about the constructors. They simplify the process of initializing of the data for each and every object. If you want to initialize the data, instead of writing so many lines of code, okay, by just creating an object and passing the arguments, data as arguments, the constructor calling statement during the object creation itself, that is enough. Okay, the constructors simplify the process of initialization. That's all good. Okay, you'll get the same output. Okay, when I run this code, you'll get the same output, and without any changes. You see, same output we got. Now there is one more problem I need to solve. The other problem that I want to solve here is I don't understand what is B. B is not readable, M is not readable, C is not readable, MI is not readable, P is not readable, and W is not readable. But here brand, model, color, mileage, price, wheels are readable, but coming to these parameters, they are not readable. But as a developer, I want to make my code more readable. So what if I, because here B stands for brand only. Okay. So what will happen if I put brand here? What will happen if I put model here? What will happen if I put color here? Because I want to make the code readable. Okay. Because I don't want to duplicate. So I gave different names for the parameters and different names for the class. Okay. But the moment I want to make it readable, again, if I give proper names, okay, proper names like this, wheels and all those stuff, you see, immediately I'm going to get errors, right? Because I have to pass brand here. B is removed, model is M is removed, color is now C is now color, mileage is now mileage, price is now price, P is now price, W is now wheels. Okay, like this, because I want to make the code readable. But the problem with this approach is here class variable name is same as the parameter name. So if I double click, which is getting highlighted, parameter. If I double click this side also parameter, that means we are assigning the parameter to parameter only. We are not assigning the parameter to the class variable. Here this side also parameter, this side also parameter. You see, this side also parameter, this side also. That means we are assigning the parameter to parameter. How to segregate or separate or distinguish the class variables from the parameter variable names when both have the same name? But readability wise, I have to make this possible. I have to give the same names. But the conflict is coming here because here this brand is nothing but parameter. This brand is nothing but parameter. We are assigning the parameter to parameter itself. But what we want to assign, we want to assign the parameter to the class variable. Here there is no class variable. So how to separate the class variables? How to make this be treated as a class variables instead of parameters? Just add a keyword known as this keyword, this dot. This dot means class related brand. It's not a parameter. Just double click here. You see this time the brand is getting highlighted. If I double click here, this brand is getting highlighted. That means the parameter is now getting assigned to the class variable. Again, model, instead of model, we have to say this dot model. Instead of color, we have to say this dot color. Instead of mileage, we have to say this dot mileage. Instead of price, we have to say this dot price. Instead of wheels, we have to say this dot wheels. Okay, this dot wheels is equal to wheels. So now we have distinguished the class variables from the parameters. Okay. If I double click here, this wheels will be selected. If I double click, this wheels will be selected. Okay, fine. Now run the code and you'll get the same output. Okay. After readability got improved also, you'll get the same output. Things are working fine. Now finally, we have last item, that is I explained about class and objects. I explained about constructors. I explained about this keyword, and final topic is left for this session, that is this static keyword. Okay, it's also very simple. I'll explain you. I'll explain you because there is one problem here. Okay, what is the problem here is, if you observe these three objects, guys, if you observe these three objects, that is three cars actually. You are representing three cars. Maruti Swift VDI car, you are representing Honda Amaze, you are representing Hyundai i20, you are representing. For each and every car, what are the number of wheels? Four, four, four. But for other variables, brand Maruti, brand Honda, brand Hyundai, different, right? Every object has a brand, different brand. Here model, you see model is also different. Swift EDI, MS, i20. Color, red, gray, white. Mileage, 24.1 to 1412. Everything is different. Price, 8 lakhs, 9 lakhs, 12 lakhs. All are different. But coming to wheels, guys, all the cars will have four wheels only. If all the cars has four wheels, is it a good idea to store wheels is equal to 4 in every object like this and wasting the memory? Are we wasting the memory? We are doing a wastage, right? Why we are storing in three places when it can be stored in one place because all the cars has four wheels only? So this is not the right place to store the wheels. Rather, we have to make these wheels a common one, right? Common to all these objects. So we have to create one more box and we have to take these wheels out and put it here. Okay. Into the common box, we have to put wheels is equal to 4 here. Okay. From here, we have to remove. From here, we have to remove wheels. From here, we have to remove wheels. From here also, we have to remove wheels. From all these places, we have to remove wheels, and the wheels need to be moved to the common place. And this should not be belonging to the object memories anymore. Okay, wheels should not be belong to the, because what should belong to the object memory is the values that change from object to object should belong to the object memory. But something which is common across all the objects should not be there in the object memory. Should be there in a separate memory known as class memory. Class memory or common memory. Okay. So these are objects memory using object difference svdi dot price. Here, what was the other one? hamz dot price, hi20 dot price, because they are different. So we are using the object difference to access them. But coming to this, wheels is common across all the objects and should not belong to the object memory. Rather, we have to move to a common memory known as class memory. And how to access this wheels is equal to 4 once it is moved to the class memory or common memory? By using the class name. What is the class name here? Car is a class name. Car dot wheels we have to say. Instead of saying hi20 dot wheels or hamz dot wheels or svdi dot wheels, we have to say car class name dot wheels. Okay. How to make this wheels a common memory then? Instead of assigning like this, how to make this wheels a common memory? For that, I'll choose changes to the code. So here, what I will do is I'll remove these wheels, guys. I'll not put these wheels in the constructor parameter. As a constructor parameter, I will remove that. And here, this dot wheels is equal to wheels. I'll remove. Okay. And yeah, that's it. Then here also wheels I'll remove from the method display car details. Also, I'll remove the wheels from here. Okay. So what else is a change? So after removing the wheels from this, because it doesn't belong to the object memory, we should not initialize like this. Rather, how to initialize the wheels or something? Okay, here we have to make that static here, guys. We have to make it static. The moment you put static keyword before wheels, it belongs to the common memory, that is a class memory. So here, say wheels is equal to 4. The moment you say all the other variables static is not there, but for this variable static is there. Okay, only for this variable the static is there. So public static int wheels is equal to 4. Now this has been moved to the common memory. Okay, that is a class memory. It's a static memory also, you can say. Static memory also you can call. Okay, static memory or common memory or class memory. How to access these wheels then? Not to access these wheels, we have to use a class name. Okay, so here, okay, so here we should not pass 4 anymore, because 4, we are duplicating, we are wasting the memory by passing this kind of values. Okay, so here if you want to get the uh, number of wheels, okay, number of wheels is equal to number of wheels of the car is, how to access, using the class name, that is car dot wheels. We have to say car dot wheels. Same thing, you should not say svdi dot wheels. Here we have to say car dot wheels, because it belongs to the common memory or static memory or class memory, you can say. Okay, number of wheels of the car is. Now run this code. Okay, here it will come, because I wrote it a, there is line here, right? Or you can put one thing, you can do one thing here, you can say number of wheels of the car, number of wheels of the car is, here instead of saying that, we can say car dot wheels. Okay, car dot wheels, this is the way to access it. Okay, outside the class also we have to access like this. Okay, outside the, or here wheels is also fine, it will work. Okay, but outside the class, if you want to access, you have to say car dot wheels. Okay, instead of svdi dot wheels, you have to say car dot wheels. Okay, so that is what is static, guys. Okay, static means common memory. If you want to move something from respective memory to the common memory, right, object respective memory to the common memory, right, we have to make that particular thing. It can be a variable or method, we have to just make it static, guys. Okay, then it will move to the common memory. Fine. So this is the requirement for static, but there is a lot I have to explain about static. This much is not enough. Okay, static variables belong to the class memory, that is a common memory or static memory. Okay, variables having common data across different objects should be made static type, like wheels is equal, every car has wheels is equal to 4, right? Such kind of variables we have to make them static. Accessing the static variables should be done with the help of class name. Okay, accessing the static variables should be done with the help of the class name. If you want to access this number of wheels outside, okay, so how to access the number of wheels outside? Car dot class name dot wheels, we have to say class name dot wheels, and run this. Number of wheels 4 will be printed in the output. You see 4 got printed in the output. Fine, like that we have to access. We should not be accessing using the, because it is a common thing, right? We should not use object reference. Okay, doesn't, because it doesn't belong to the object memory anymore, so using the object reference is not a good practice. Rather it got moved to a common memory. Using the class name we have to access. Next, other things, static methods can only access static stuff. Okay, these things I need to explain, guys. Okay, these things I need to cover or explain now. So for that I'll go for a different example. Okay, let's leave this example. I'll otherwise I'll remove all this code from here. I'll remove all this code, and I'll create a sample class inside this public class, demo class. Inside this I'll create a method public svm. So there are other things related to static keyword. Okay, so most of the things I covered, but there are additional things that you need to understand regarding the static keyword. So these 3 points, if you have to understand, I need to create the class like this. Okay, you see this particular main method is a static method or non-static method. All main methods should be static only. If you remove the static, you will get, most probably you will get errors. Okay, so it will not run actually. Okay, so just try to run this hello or something I'll give, and I remove the static from this main method and try to run this. You see there are build errors. What is the problem? Demo does not have a suitable static main method. Static is compulsory for the main methods. Okay, that's the problem. For main method, static is compulsory. Now run this code. It will work. This time it will work. Okay, I have to write console.readline. Otherwise, command prompt will not stay. The output prompt will not stay. Okay, I have to say console.readline. Yeah, hello, got printed now. Fine. That's all good, guys. That's all good. But you see, there are a few things that you need to understand about static methods. Static methods can only access what which stuff? Static stuff. So if I write here int a is equal to 9, and I would like to print this global variable a inside this method, inside this main method. So what I will do, console.writeline a. Is it possible to print the value of this a? No, it's not possible. because main is a static method. Main is a static method. Static methods can only access what stuff? Static methods can only access static stuff. Let me write down it here to highlight it. Static methods can only access static stuff. Okay. Static methods can only access which stuff? Static stuff. That means stuff means variables and methods. So here main method is a static method. So it can only access static stuff. But here variable A is not static type. That's why you are getting errors. You see. So what I have to do to access? I have to make it static. The moment I make this variable static, you see now main method can access the variable A. It will print it out. 9 will be printed in the output, guys. If I run this code, in the output you see 9 will be printed because static methods can access static stuff. I'll create some methods here. Public void non-static method I'll create. Sample I'll say. CW. CW. Inside sample method, I'll say inside sample method. Now, if I want to call this method sample like this, I cannot call it because static methods, main is a static method, can only access which kind of stuff? Static stuff only. But sample is a static? No. That's why you're getting error. What I have to do to make this possible? Add static keyword here. Now sample method is a static method, so it can be accessed from the static methods. Run this code. It will work. It can call the method inside sample method. Yeah, right? So static methods can only access static stuff. Okay. If in case we have to access non-static variables and methods from a static method, then we have to create an object for that. Okay. Other way is also there, guys. Okay. Other way is also there. What is the other way is either we have to make this method. For example, here this variable and method we made it static, right? Otherwise, this printing and calling this method is not possible. But is there any other way where without making this particular sample and this variable static, I can still call this method and variable? I can print this variable and method. Is there any other way? Yes, there is a way, guys. What is that is we have to create an object for this class. Demo is equal to new demo. Like this, we have to create an object. Okay. If still you want to access the non-static stuff from the static methods, then one way is to make this variable and method static. If you don't want to make this variable and method static, the other way is just create an object for the class in which this variable and method are available, and using the object reference console.writeLine, using the object reference demo.a, like this you can access demo.sample. There's no problem now. Now you'll not get any errors. Okay. One way is to make this variable and method static, or else if you still want to access the non-static stuff inside the static method, you have to create an object for the class in which this particular variable and method is there by using the object reference of that particular class. Okay. Object reference of that particular class, you have to access the variable and method. Okay. Then we'll get the output. Okay. You still get the output two ways. Either make them static and static methods can access the static stuff, or access the non-static stuff by creating the object and using the object reference, try to access the variables and methods. Okay, fine. Last item, guys. What about non-static methods? Can non-static methods can access both static and non-static stuff? Yes. While static methods can only access static stuff, while static methods can only access static stuff, non-static methods, there is no restriction. Non-static methods can access both static and non-static stuff. There is no restriction here. So let me create a already non-static method is there. For example, sample is a non-static method, right? I'll create one more static method here. Public static void sample2 is a static method. Console.writeLine, and here I'll say inside sample2. Can I call this method from the non-static method? Yes. Static methods and non-static methods, there is no restriction. Okay, static methods can access static and non-static stuff. So directly I can say sample2 here without any problem. Can call. Similarly, if let's say there is a static variable here, static int b is equal to some 10. Okay, here b also can be accessed without any problem inside the non-static method. Non-static method can access both static and non-static stuff. So directly you can say b. There is no problem. Run this code, it will work. Okay, there's no problem. While static methods can only access static stuff, but non-static methods can access both static and non-static stuff. Okay, both static and non-static stuff. I'll show you. If I print a also, you see A is non-static, right? B is static. Both can be accessible. Here B is static, right? B is static. Static is accessible. A is non-static. Non-static is also accessible. So guys, with this we are done with the static keyword. Okay, I covered everything related to classes, constructors, this keyword, static keyword. Okay, this keyword I demonstrated only with constructor, but you can also use with methods also. Okay, this just the purpose is to segregate or differentiate the class variables with the method parameters or method constructors. Okay, apart from that, everything is same. So that's all about objects, classes, constructors, this and static in C Sharp. So in the next session, I'm going to cover another C Sharp .NET topic for you. Till then, see you. Bye bye.